Hi there. I am Dr. Jill Wener. I am the creator of Meditation for Doctors, a guide to the rest technique. And I'm so excited to be interviewing today Dr. Errin Weisman, who is one of the beta testers for this course. She has been incredible. And I just wanted to ask her some questions about her experience and have it, instead of having it all come from me, let you guys all hear what it's like for an actual physician who has taken the course. So, Errin, thank you so much for joining me. And I'd love to know if you could share with our audience, who are you and what do you do?
Ooh, that can go a lot of different ways. So yeah, I'm Dr. Errin Weisman. I'm an osteopathic physician. I'm family medicine boarded. In my side world, I guess, I still practice clinically, but it's definitely on my own terms. But I am a physician life coach and podcaster. And so I do a lot of fun roles. And that's actually how we met, was through my podcast when you first told me about this meditation thing. And I was kind of like, maybe. And so when you offered the potential to be a beta tester, I was like, meh, why not? I'll be perfectly honest with your audience. I was a total skeptic. I was like, yeah, I'll do this for Jill because we'll just see, and she wants to make things better. And I think we'll get into it a little bit later, but it was definitely more than that.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what surprised you about the course and what did you like most about it?
So, what surprised me was the results actually that I saw. So, being a life coach, like I know all about self talk and I know about, like understanding your why and like going back to a lot of that mindfulness stuff. But I was just so impressed with the results that I had once we started meditating that they were not only just like mental results, but emotional and like physical results along with it.
Awesome. Do you want to go into maybe what some of those were and some of the benefits for you and how it's maybe helped you with your medical career, with practicing medicine?
Absolutely. So I would categorize myself as a very emotionally labile person. I am like all over the place. I get really loud and then I kind of like resort back. And I have really found that even though I can continue to be that personality type, it doesn't feel like such an expansion of energy. So how I've seen that play out in my work life is I've recently been a part of a new hospital startup, and anybody who's been through any kind of startup knows that it's stressful. And then you add in the health and well-being of patients into it, and it like triples. And so working with a new team who's never worked together in an environment that is totally new, I found just before in my I would say like before meditation in my clinical life, I would have just felt just emotionally drained at the end of a day, um, just to the point where I just couldn't deal with my own family life because I expended so much of that emotional energy at work trying to just deal with nurses and techs and administrators and other physicians, that now that I've been meditating, actually I'm like, I'm good. My husband even noted it. He told me the other day, he was like, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to keep doing it because you are in a really good place right now. And when your spouse says that,
Right.
then it's significant.
You're like, I will not take that as a backhanded compliment. I will take that at face value.
No, I mean, he was really serious about it because he's seen me in a lot of different clinical roles, taking on some new things, and he was like, "This feels like the best that you've done in this medical directorship that you're doing." And I'm like, "I know, I feel that way too." And like, there's no drugs involved. It's amazing.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. That makes me so happy because I know the benefits that I had from the technique when I learned in 2011. It made my burnout go away. That was the live course, and which I also teach, but this is the online course. So it's so amazing to hear that these same benefits can come through for people who are watching videos and learning to
And
meditate.
I wondered about that too because I'm like, well, what's going to be the difference between like doing this in person and like doing the online? And I really think as physicians, like when we dedicate to something and we do it, like we're gunners, like we really do it. So I think to your people who are listening this, like the virtual, I feel like would have been just as good if I went and did an in live with you. I mean, it may even be a little bit better because like if there was a video part that I needed to replay, I could
Mhm.
replay it. And
Sure.
then also having the live Facebook group to like get in and interact with people who are maybe in some slightly different stages from, everybody was kind of virtualing on their own. It was nice to have that dialogue rather than all being like new learners in it.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So what why will you recommend this course to your you've mentioned that you will already, so I know that you
Yeah,
will.
totally will.
What about the course makes you want to recommend it to your coaching clients, and why would you recommend it to other doctors who are interested in taking it?
I really think it's just from the benefits that I've personally felt. And like I said, now my family is seeing it. And now my professional life have even mentioned, like, wow, this, you're handling things just so well. Whereas before I may have not lashed out irrationally, but gotten a little bit more like rah, emotional about things. I can really see it for my coaching clients because many times I'm working with people who are burned out or who are making transitions because they don't like where they're at.
Mhm.
By having another tool, a powerful tool in your tool belt to use in addition to coaching, I think it's going to be like a 1-2 punch and helping people move forward into a life and a practice that they love. So
Mhm.
I'm just excited to keep finding more and more tools because like I tell people all the time, like, you're not going to yoga burnout away, you're not going to life coach burnout away, you're not going to meditate burnout away. But I think when you bring that combination, the awareness of all of it, like I can see definitely where the meditation is going to be a much bigger part of that.
Mhm. Awesome, awesome. And so, do you have any, on that note, any words of advice to people who are thinking about taking the rest technique? Any roadblocks or obstacles that you encountered while you were taking the course? Because I don't. We talked about this before, but I don't actually teach people to meditate until module 7 out
Hmm.
of 15 for very specific reasons. But now looking back, knowing what you know, anything that you would tell people who are about to
Yeah,
embark?
my first advice would be just keep going with it and give yourself some grace. Like if you're not able to get every module, like one module a day, like give yourself grace with that. Don't try to like play catch up. Just be like, okay, I got time to do it. And then when you actually get into module 7 and you start the meditation, like really give it that full honest effort to get the 2 times of meditation in, because I feel like the first one is just like setting the pace of your day and setting intention, and then actually getting that second one in is like the restorative that I felt like has really been helpful. And so um I but giving yourself grace, like if you don't get it exactly when you time it to do it, because I know I was really hard on myself. My times are typically 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. and like I get down on myself sometimes if I can't get that 2 p.m. So like here lately I've been doing it like 8 p.m. after I get kids to bed, and it's still got good, it's still processing well. So I would say like give yourself some space in that, because as you move forward it seems like it just comes in that flow more and more and more. And any roadblocks with it, you guys can watch module 5 to hear my roadblock story. It's hilarious. It's so good. Everybody needs to just buy the program for that, because it it tells about like my extreme reaction to meditation. So I'll just save that for them in there.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and it's one of those things where and actually maybe if you could comment onto how was this meditation, the actual practice itself, without giving away all the technique, how is it different from other types of meditation you've done? Because certainly.
Yeah. So like my past experience with meditation was Headspace app, like guided meditations, like with the really like yogi-esque kind of voice and the like chimes and stuff, and then like at the end of a yoga class doing like shavasana. That was like my exposure to what meditation was. And so going into that, that's why I was super skeptical, I'm not going to lie, because I was like, been there, done that. But the difference with the rest technique is it totally makes sense to my science brain, and it totally makes sense to who I am as a person. Rather than trying to like mold into this space, it feels very expansive.
That's awesome. That's awesome, and it's easy to do also, and I know a lot of people really enjoy the fact that you don't have to try to control your mind or clear your mind of thoughts or any of that kind of stuff. So, well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you. Any last words for anyone who might be listening and thinking about?
You know, anybody who's contemplating this, I mean, obviously you've got some interest if you've like stayed with us this long in the video, but I would put a plug in, like you do get CMEs with this. And I don't know about you guys, I'm always looking for like good CME options. I'm sorry, I don't want to read journals and then fill out the surveys to get CMEs, but I felt like that was an added bonus to not only like learning it, but then getting the CMEs on top of it as well. I was just like, that's just like bonus. And you're gonna have to like figure out like a yearly update so we can keep like checking in on those
Oh,
CMEs.
right, right, right. Yes. That's a good point. Yeah.
But don't forget that, like after you finish it, I mean, it's honestly like super cheap CMEs if you compare it to like going to an actual like program and that sort of thing. So I think that's a great bonus that I thought was for me. And then also the online community. It was nice to meet other physicians who were kind of like, what is this? And then we kind of all went through the journey together and see how it was.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible seeing some of the posts of, some of the docs on there saying that they had made rare clinical diagnoses and felt calm and focused in the OR and having these big breakthroughs. So it's pretty powerful. Well,
Yeah,
thank
and
you.
so I mean that's the one thing too. They tell people like a lot of people get hung up on the money, but I can definitely say just the benefit of what I've got from it was trumped by the investment that I put in. And so I think that's what you have to really look at. Like, I mean, I do coaching, so that's what I talk about all the time with people. And so I would say 100%. It was 100% worth every single penny I paid for it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Erin. I appreciate it. And you've been such a great supporter of the class and such a good member of the community on the Facebook group. So thank you so much for taking.
Well, if I didn't mean it, I wouldn't say it. So
True, true.
it's
That's
really
very
has
true.
helped.
I know you are very, very honest. So I'm very, very excited to get your thoughts on it and help to share this with other docs who need it. All right, thanks.